Well, I am sorry to disappoint, but I failed at my budget again. But you know what? No spend June. That's where we're going. We're gonna do it in June. May, far behind us. Who cares about May? What is up, YouTube? My name's Anna, and this is Anna Does Money, a channel where I talk about money making and money saving strategies, as well as my personal debt recovery journey. It has been just about 3 months since I've embarked on this debt recovery journey, trying to pay off over $27,000 in credit card debt. Last month, we were down to just under $20,000. I think it was 19 something. But sad news, my debt's gone back up this month. If you are new to my channel, I do these monthly updates where I share how much money I'm making, how much money I'm spending, and how much of my debt has been paid off so far. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, please leave this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you part of this community. All right, so this month was a bit of a fail, but what's done is done. We're moving on, and we are going for a serious no spend June. Okay. Let's take a look at the damage. In the month of May, I only made income from my 9-to-5 job, which amounted to $4,377 after tax. Based on the 50-30-20 rule, this is kind of what my spending should look like. Just over $2,000 on my needs, about $1,300 on my wants, and $875 on debt repayment. Now, because the minimum payments on my credit cards plus my student and personal loan amount to $1,500, there is zero way I can make that $2,100 needs budget. So realistically, I'm combining the needs and the wants section and just making sure that I can put at least $875, but I'm aiming for $1,000 a month towards debt repayment. But for the second month in a row now, I have to confess, I didn't make that. My actual spending looked like this. My rent was the same as it was last month. It was $1,200 a month. My phone is usually $45, but this month it was double that. It was $106, mainly because I didn't have internet at my new apartment for the first 2-3 weeks, and I had to use my phone data to work from home. Canada, our phone rates, ridiculous. And I have a cheap phone plan. It's still ridiculous. The electricity and the internet charges were also higher than they should be, and that's because I was charged setup fees for both. I did try to negotiate my way out of that, didn't really work. I was proud of myself for not overspending on food because the month before I spent $400 on takeout alone. And this month, I stuck to my budget and kept it under $200 for both dining out and groceries combined, which is awesome. So little wins, right? Little wins. But you know, I'm not that proud because other areas I spent like crazy. My subscriptions are slightly up. Like I mentioned before, these are my business subscriptions. So it's things like editing software, Epidemic Sound, as well as Canva to edit my thumbnails. But there was another subscription that I had a trial for, and I forgot to cancel the trial, even though I put it in my calendar so I would remember to cancel it, and I still didn't remember. So that one's on me, no excuses there. It's canceled now, but that's why it was higher. Yes, in general, my subscriptions are quite high, but I'm hoping all of these will be an investment in my future and will allow me to work from home permanently, which means I can move into a cheaper city. My transportation costs were as expected. I usually budget about $200 a month, and we were under that, so that's great. Okay, now you'll probably see the super obvious reason for why I was way over my budget. That big green section, yeah, that's gifts. So my birthday was May 1st, so both end of April and beginning of May, I overspent on my birthday. Then it was my boyfriend's birthday, and that's where I really spent way too much money. I think I spent like $600 on his gifts, way too much. And then I baked him a homemade cake, which somehow turned out to be more expensive, cost me like $30 for all the ingredients. And then there was Mother's Day in the middle of May, so I bought my mom a bunch of plants that cost $100. Clearly, I had way too much fun in the month of May, no good. The problem why I spent so much on my boyfriend's birthday is that he bought me a really expensive gift. Like, he bought me a computer, and yeah, I know I needed it because I'd been using the same laptop for 12 years and it like barely ran. Like, the screen was dark, it wouldn't charge, it was terrible. But here's the thing, like, I can't afford anything nearly that expensive. So even my gift at like $500, $600 was only a fraction of what he paid for my new computer. And I told him I couldn't afford anything similar. And he got me that gift anyway. And I know I'm not being upfront with him and I didn't tell him the full extent of my financial situation. I should be brave and just face him, but I am still a bit embarrassed. I'm really working out to sharing the whole story. So even though he said, yeah, it's fine if you get me a smaller gift, like I didn't feel comfortable with that. Realistically, I think this is a way bigger problem. We live in such a materialistic world that we feel the need to spend so much on gifts. We should really go back to just making handmade gifts or no gifts at all and just be spending quality time with each other. Anyway, as you can probably guess by this distribution, no additional money went towards debt repayment. And my income, $4,377. How much did I spend? $4,641. So we're in more debt. Okay, let's take a look at the debt so far. So from March 1st to May 1st, I actually paid off $8,000 of credit card debt, and my total debt was reduced by almost $10,000. But now my debt has increased by $600. Sad, very sad. And I have no one to blame but myself. I could have made this month's budget if it wasn't for the gifts. I could have even probably paid off some of the debt, maybe not the full $1,000 I was hoping, but I would have been pretty close. But as I mentioned, I'm much more confident that I'm gonna succeed in June. If you haven't watched my budgeting video, I'll link it here and feel free to check that out where I go into details of how I'm setting up my budget this month and why I think I'm gonna succeed. All right, so that's gonna be it for today. If you've enjoyed this video, like I said, please leave me a thumbs up. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching and I hope to see you next time on Anna Does Money. Peace out, dudes.